That's going to be the theme this week because that's right there at the top of my lyrics for this week's song. Hey now, you're going to like that intro to the song. All right, let's get live. Are you ready to get live on a Wednesday? Oh, perfect. We're already live. I got a better way to do it now. I just figured it out. I told you I would figure this out. So when the countdown hits 0, and it is now, we can roll that intro. Here we go. Crank it up, pump it up. Hello, friends. Jump on in here, refresh that page. Let's go live. We are live, in fact, on a Wednesday night. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Church Prep with MWD Wednesday. Drumroll. I am Mark W. Douglas. Let's get things started off with a prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Happy Wednesday, drum roll. A 5-song concert is coming your way tonight. That's right, I'm going to pull out my guitar here in a bit. But first, it's time to introduce the Song of the Week's backstory. Let's recall the SOTW is called Out of the Rain. Look at that beautiful song, Out of the Rain, a testimony for yours truly, MWD, a little bit of a testimony. So I'm in the catbird seat when it comes to testimonies, because when you write music and you write songs, you can just go to town on different ideas that you might have for testimonials. I got stuff I want to say about this situation, and how do I best do that? Maybe it just comes to you, right? And so I can just go on and write song after song after song and talk about testimony kind of stuff. But this one was one of my first ones. In writing music, I'm going to tell it's time to get the popcorn, for here comes the backstory. But in writing my music, and writing the lyrics, it's real important to me to make sense. And it's real important to, come up with something to say. What you have something of value to share with the world. I guess you could be in a different mood and write something goofy and dumb or stupid, and maybe it's about a girl, or maybe it's about a friendship, maybe it's about God, right? Maybe it's about something, right, that someone else can relate to. It's always my idea. In this song, Out of the Rain, I wanted to tell a little bit of my story. And I think a lot of my songs, they start out with this problem, and then the solver. Who's the solver? I tell you who the solver is. It's our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, isn't he? He's my salvation and solver. He's going to help me solve these problems, these doggone problems of mine. And he's going to be the one I can turn to when things don't go perfect, things don't go right. And man, don't you love leaning on something that's kind of like it's there, because we're here with the fabric of the universe, right? And yeah, that's that song where it's constantly like, here's the question, here's the problem, who's the answer? You know who it is. His name, he goes by JC around here. Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. Let's take a look at those lyrics, Out of the Rain. Yeah, my testimony here a little bit. When I was able to drive as a young man, I got in a car with a friend of mine, best friend, and we headed down to Georgia one Saturday night. We stole a case of beer. We were looking for a fight. The first verse there. Now, in a live kind of situation, he wasn't asking the next question. Who am I is what I was screaming to myself as I felt the whole world fall down. And Yeah, I didn't share that with him at the moment. I just shared the excitement of doing it, knowing how wrong it was. We got away. We didn't get in trouble. We got away. We hit I-75 and we took off north back to my little single wide trailer that we were renting that my dad had set up with a neighbor of ours. Put the beer in that refrigerator. I didn't really want to drink it. I wasn't a drinker. I just, it was the whole act of doing it. One of the first things that really, like, when you're young and most of us remember that first thing we really did bad as an adult. I really did have done that. I really could kick myself for doing that, This is that moment, right? Good news that it didn't end really badly for me, where maybe we were running up 75, going, 75, 80 miles an hour in my tiny little stick shift junk car that I loved, of course. Thank God, we didn't get pulled over by the cops, because that would have been bad. The whole thing would have been epically bad. I guess that's why I have a lot of, I just have a lot of empathy and care for a young person it's one thing to stick your foot into trouble every single weekend, because it's like, okay, you're asking for it. What's wrong with you? It's another thing. It's just a one-off, and maybe the judge would have seen that. But I kind of kicked myself. I was my own judge. I didn't need to be arrested. I kind of arrested myself, honestly. Was it me that arrested myself? Everybody knows the answer. I set myself up for that one. Okay, fine. I didn't set myself up to be the Jiminy Cricket telling me you did wrong. The Holy Spirit stepped in and said, you did wrong, big boy. You did wrong. What are you thinking? What are you doing? Get a hold of yourself. I love saying that too, by the way. I've always loved saying, get a hold of yourself. I like to say it to myself. I don't mind saying it to myself. Get a hold of yourself. What's wrong with you? Stop playing. It's a good little it's a good thing to kind of remember, right? Get a hold of yourself. It's not a bad thing to ponder, right? Get a hold of yourself, man. You're stealing a case of beer, running down the street, looking for a fight. I didn't share that with my friend. I didn't share that with him, that I was screaming, who am I? I want to look tough. I want to look cool. Put the beer in the refrigerator. Didn't even want to drink it unless he was around, so it just sat in there. Something to do for fun, but it just was wrong. It was wrong. It was more than wrong. It was dead wrong. Could have gotten in big trouble for such a stupid prank. Some of the stupid things that that we did. You see it on the regular nowadays, right? Kids doing stupid stuff all the time. Maybe I was ahead of my time there. Good thing we didn't have, cameras where we could have videoed all this and put it on some kind of social media, and then really gotten in trouble by the law. Oh yeah, thanks for turning yourself in. Since we have video evidence, we're coming to your house to arrest you. So we make the mistake. Thank goodness we didn't drink on the way. Or we didn't drink. I think maybe my friend, he was in the passenger seat. Maybe he pulled out a beer and drank it on the way. But I was driving and he was underage. We were both underage. That's why we stole it in the first place. We could have just bought it if we were of age. That's why we were underage, of course. Like I said, 18-ish. Just got driving around in a car. And then the next verse. Let's get to that next verse. Let's do it with a different person, right? A whole different person. And this person, good friend of mine, right? Talking about We're talking about God. Talking about God. And how, we're going to the same church and we love God, right? We love God. We want to be close to Him. And can you believe that this person had the nerve to say, I know it's not right. It's not the thing to do, smoke marijuana. But I got to tell you, doing this, smoking marijuana, it actually brings me closer to God. I mean, It makes my mind relax, and I kind of space out, and then I can really meditate on what God's wanting to tell me, what God's wanting to show me, and what God's wanting to say to me. And I just couldn't believe my ears, like the verse says there. I couldn't believe my ears. Drugs give peace and they bring me closer to God. As if this was my excuse for doing that. This is my excuse for doing that. And it was like, okay, looking back at it now that I'm a little older, you realize, I think that was just the way for this person to try to relate to me. They're just trying to relate to me because I was a Christian. And I don't think it really necessarily brought her closer to God, but it was just a way to relate with me. So maybe I could go, man, that's a really great idea. Let's get closer to God by doing the thing that you want to do. And then that's when we have to say to ourselves, do we have standards in our lives? Do we have barriers or borderlines? Do you have a borderline where you say, I'm just not, I'll do a lot of stuff, but I won't do that. Right? I can do a lot, but man, that's where my morality kicks in. And I just can't go past that line. There's a line for everybody. Where's your borderline? Where's the line at which you say, I will not cross that line? That's just too far for me. And this is what the devil tries to do, right? I mean, we know this. But it's hard. It's easy to know it. It's another thing to actually live it, right? To say, I know what's going on here. Devil's trying to tempt me. And that's how it kind of gets you in. It's like going to first base, right? Oh, man, you're just going to go to first. I mean, you're not going to a home run. It's just marijuana. And then you're at first base. And, well, you've already gone to first base. Let's go to second base. Let's go to the next drug. You go to that next drug, and you get deeper and deeper until you're out of this world. You can't even, it's hard for you to find your way back to home plate. Going back and getting rid of all these drugs. You hear people say about it, right? And this, let me think. Hang on, I've got to do a little brainstorming now. So this is after, I got to think about this for a second. This was the first story. Yes, that's right. The first story, first verse was with one person that a best friend, right? This first verse, heading down to Georgia and stealing a case of beer. This was prior to the big thing happening to me in my life where, I drank some beer whenever my friend came over with that case, right? Because I was underage, couldn't get any more beer, so we better hoard it while we could. So I drank a little bit, but the idea was, when did I stop drinking? If you don't know this from other episodes that I've talked about, is that not too long after this happening, right? I found myself living in the same town as my mom down in Panama City, Florida, and an incident occurred that shook me to my core, and I decided to quit drinking at that moment, right? At that moment, I said, that is it. That is enough. I will not drink another drop of alcohol for the rest of my life. A promise. Because it shook me to my core. Clearly, I'm still on the wagon. Not a drop. And so it shook me to my core, and I said, this is not going to happen to me anymore. It had nothing to do with the law or anything. It was a family dispute, not with me. I was a bystander, but you just come to the point in time where you just say, in my case, I just said, I can see that it's destroying my family. Now it's maybe going to destroy me if I stay on this road and just keep thinking, oh, this is no big deal. This is fun. Come on, man. This is okay. There's nothing wrong with this. Just, you gotta have, you could have one, you could have two, and oh, come on, it's just 3 beers, right? And then the beers turn into other alcohol types, a little stronger. Now we're getting a little stronger. Oh, now we're getting real strong. Now we're doing it every night. Now you maybe kind of addicted to it every night. Is this really the life? Is this really what you want to do? And he's just throwing money away for this. It's not even pleasure. I always thought about it as just winning away the time by being a little drunk. You're just winning away the time that in a day that you could be thinking about something that is important, something that you could get accomplished, something that means something, taking care of your family, making yourself actual food instead of that liquid bread. So I said no, and so this first verse happened before I said no to alcohol, and that was in 1994. In May of 1994, and that was the last time I had any kind of alcohol. So very, very glad I did that because I've never needed it. Going to DJ parties, alcohol's flowing. They're offering me, we've done this for 14 years now. So as you can imagine, God did something big time to me, and enough to where there is no. It's not even like saying, "Oh God, do it." I have to say no. I have to say no. Let me play. Please, Lord, help me say no. No, it doesn't work that way with me. It doesn't work. I'm not saying it doesn't work that way with everybody, but it's just like, no, I don't have to plead with anybody. I just say, I'm sorry, I don't drink. I don't have to think about it twice. Go, oh man, I had to say. Should I have said no? They were really being nice to me. You have a couple of partiers that really push. They're like, come on, man, just one. After you tell them that, no, I don't drink. And most people get it. Like, oh, okay, he has a problem with alcohol. And I just say it. I don't have to. I'm trying to be nice. And I'm like, no, seriously, no, I'm not drinking. But it's only happened like maybe once. So, but every time, I guess that's a good point. Every time I think about alcohol in that regard, I just think, no, God's healed me of that. It kind of reminds me of that verse in the Bible. Maybe we'll go over it on Friday because Friday's the Bible references. But remember the verse in the Bible where I believe it was, well, I don't know which disciple or apostle said it, but I'll look it up. But basically that, when you're God, I think it's Paul, but he's God will make you the strongest in your weakest, right? And whatever it is that you're the weakest thing, God made him the strongest in that formerly weakest thing in his life. So it's not even a thing anymore. It's just like, no, that's not. I have zero want or yearning, zero want or yearning to do anything in regards to the alcohol consumption of it and that entire lifestyle and what that means. All of it it's almost like, it's like imagine if someone told you, I want you to eat this sludge. To me, it's just like, why would I want to eat the sludge? That's what it's akin to, or something that would make you immediately have to go to the hospital with sickness. It's just the way it is. Thank God, that's how it is. And and that actually brings up a good point. Is there a way we could do that? We could have that feeling for the sin that's destroying our lives. The other things, right? The other things that, may not be alcohol. The games that we play, maybe an actual game on your phone, the games that you play by binge watching television until your eyes can't even stay open anymore. That's a game, by the way. It's like we want to make fun of the guy that's a warlord in this game that he's playing on the Xbox, but we don't see the connection between this guy spending all his time in his mom's basement playing video games. You don't see the connection between that and how much television you binge watch, all the shows you watch, and the ridiculous amounts of time you are wasting. And you are a child of God. You are a child. Some of you that have given your life to Jesus and that claim that Jesus is your Lord and Savior. That's who I'm talking to on that sentence. Like, you have the audacity to sit around and absolutely make a waste of your life when you have skills that need to be put to use for the betterment of mankind and the kingdom, bringing forth the kingdom, strengthening the kingdom. The thing that I'm doing right here. This is what God's wanting me to do, right? And this isn't the end, right? This is a 3-year project. I can't wait to see what God's going to open up next, This is just now. We're going to do the 120 songs. And maybe, like I told you, I want to get these off my chest so I can begin writing some more. My goal is to begin writing again. I just want to write some more, but I just cannot write another song and I couldn't begin that whole process, right? And then these songs are still sitting in a book. No, I have to get these out first, and then I'm going to start writing again. Brand new material. Can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. Out of the rain. So post saying no to alcohol, right? Post that, right? Getting my life back on track, coming back home to Chattanooga area, and post saying no to alcohol. That's when I got verse 2. Okay? So a lot of time had passed. That's when I got verse 2. So here we are in verse 2. I have a friend of mine who's telling me that drugs give peace and they bring me closer to God. And here we are. We met in a Christian situation, and I am working on my Christianity. I am working on testing in a way. You know how it is when you're a young Christian and you really are drinking milk. And you're just seeing how does this Christianity play out in real life? That's a great way to put it. How does this thing called Christianity and following Jesus and being his follower, how does it actually work? What are the gears that once that thing hits the secular world with secular ideas, right? How does that mechanism, the antikythral mechanism of Christianity, how does that work when you bombard it with the secular world, secular music, secular ideas, feminism, all the things, right? Other religions. What's going to come out of my mouth? Because at that point I was a young Christian. But I knew that saying, let's all do drugs so we can be closer to God and be on this plane, I knew that was wrong. And who knows, there's a possibility that over time I could have been proven wrong. But it hasn't happened yet, okay? Hasn't happened yet. And I think the main reason it hasn't happened yet is because we have to juxtapose our lives with the Bible. Is it there or is it not there? If it's there, then we reciprocate. We do the same thing. We model. That's a better word. We model what the Bible is doing in our own lives. And so I never said there was anything wrong with alcohol. It's clearly there in the Bible. It's at the marriage feast, and this is when we're having a party, right? I like the way, I believe it was my father I love the way he said, maybe it was my father, but that's the thing that's popping into my head. But he said, because I never saw my dad drink ever. And I don't think I ever still have, but I think he said to me that he felt like it would be okay at a wedding. And maybe, I don't even remember, honestly, but maybe I remember seeing him with a tiny little glass of wine. But I didn't even see him drink it. But that made a lot of sense, Maybe it was another person that said, I only drink maybe on maybe like I said, a wedding or New Year's Eve or something. Kind of like that. I like it because I like, who doesn't want to be in control of their faculties and their senses? But again, to each his own, and God's the one to judge. I'm just saying, it's there. It's true. It's okay. It's okay. And again, everything in proportion, everything in balance. We got to be balanced. Let's get balanced. And on that second verse, we've made mistakes and sometimes wondering what we are, forgetting who he is. It's interesting that I picked those two, right? Of all the things, the first verse there was alcohol involved. The second verse there's drugs involved. In that case, marijuana. Drugs give peace and they bring me closer to God. So, part of, I think, a lot of kids these days, right, is beating it, right? You're over here and you just can't help but get over there on the other side of the fence. I'm going to go to the other side of the fence because the grass looks so greener over there. And you know that that's the world. You know that that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You know that that's unbiblical. You know that that's carnal man, the flesh, wanting to do all kinds of things that look so much fun. And the great thing about church the churches that I grew up in is I don't know how they planned it this way, but they always seem to bombard me and my sisters and our youth groups, the various youth groups. They always seem to bombard me with people this may sound bad, like losers that would tell their stories, total losers that would tell their stories and make you wish that you would never, ever, for the love of God, I will never, ever ruin my life the way this guy's ruined his life. Like, I don't ever want to be like this guy. The way that they presented it to us was so palpable, like scared. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to end up like this lunatic telling me the story about how just how pathetic his life is, whether it was in the pulpit or whether it was in the youth group. So thank God for that. Thank God for bringing on people that would just make you go, no, you want to end up like me? Don't end up like me. Thank God for those folks. God bless those folks. Because you're churning out people like, hopefully like me, that say, no, I'm not, I don't want to end up like you. Thank you for that testimony. Thank you for that testimony. You just saved me a lot of pain, babe. And then, like I said, we have to dip our toe into the foolishness. And these days, there's this thing called fentanyl that ruins you because you can't just do it just once. Can't just do it just once. Oh, you can't just do it just once. Because you become immediately addicted. Immediately. And you know what can happen. Lots of bad stuff can happen. Got to watch yourself. People on the road driving with this stuff in their system, right? So at what point, what point do we say, I got to go back to my roots? I think this is again let's get a little why would anybody even want to go over to the grass is greener side, that carnal side? Well, it's because the life that we have here as Christians, it's about, right? It's not necessarily about carnal flesh, joy, dopamine, right? Being hooked up into that dopamine IV. The life as Christians is spelled out in the scriptures. This is going to be tough. This is going to be hard. You're going to have to suffer in my name. There's going to be a lot of suffering going on in my name. And I mentioned it the other day about being in his perfect will. And I alluded to the idea that you would have a nice house and a nice car. And do you really think that this is God's will? I think I needed to give more context. Of course, I don't mean that having all those things means you're in better, quote unquote, air quotes here, better God's will. This is somehow having these nice things and being in this nice environment and being in this wonderful space of reality that we have here in America, that all of a sudden, man, now we know you're in God's will because look, you got the nice car, the nice house, and the whatever, fill in the blank. We know that that's not true biblically. We know that that's not true, right? We know that that's not true. It's easier for a rich man to go through an eye of a needle than to enter the kingdom of heaven. What does that mean? What does it mean to sell all that you have and follow Jesus? Sell all that you have and follow. What does that mean? Really? then who's going to listen to us? How can we be on the platforms? How do we and goes back to the monetary thing. How are we supposed to reach the gospel and, to every creature with no money? And shouldn't we get money to then reach the world? And how are we going to do this without starving to death? How are we supposed to go from town to town? And so with all these good questions, of course, all good questions, and I don't know the answer, because how can you give all of your stuff away and simultaneously have the resources to share the gospel to every creature? How do you do that simultaneously? I certainly don't know. But I'm certainly glad I had enough money to buy the things that it created so I can donate to you right now at this exact moment. Donate to you the songs that I've written. I'm donating them to you, donating them to God. I'm donating it to God's people, the church, and people that aren't saved yet, that may be interested in being saved and following Jesus. That's what I'm donating to. And thank gosh for the money enough to be able to do it. I don't, so let's we have to dig into the money thing a little bit, because we have to, this is a think tank for Christianity, layman Christianity. We don't know anything, but we got lots of questions. That's what my songs bring up, lots and lots of questions that don't make sense. So I just have to say this. And I keep trying to unravel it and say it better. And I feel like I'm getting closer. So pray with me about that. But here's another shot at it. If we had a room with 10 people in it, and 9 of them were volunteers, and the whole reason you came into the room was to serve God. On the regular, who's the 10th person? Do you really need to answer that question? Who's the 10th person that's not the volunteer? And why is that 10th person the one in charge? I need to repeat that. Do you understand? I'm giving you the most basic thing in the world, the most basic understanding of follow the money, follow the money. Why do you do anything? Right? Most of the time it's with money, but when it's volunteerism, it's the most, it's just the most sincere form of belief, right? So when I say 10 people in a room and 9 of them are volunteers, again, the 9 people have taken off from work, maybe. They've got up, they've taken showers, think of all the things that you would do to even get into the room. You want to brush your teeth, and you're doing all that with no expectation of money. You're doing it as a volunteer. I'm volunteering my love, my time, my effort to be inside of this room. But one person is not a volunteer. Who is that? And why is that the person that's in charge? You know what I'm unfolding here? This is just a think tank. Can we say it out loud? Yes, we can. The one person who's getting paid, would that person be here if not for being paid? And why are they in charge if they wouldn't be here for not getting paid? This is so simple, but it's diabolical that you and I as church would put the one person who, if they weren't getting paid, would not be in this volunteer room. I want you to pray about that. I want you to meditate on it. This is not rocket science. The one person who's not a volunteer, getting paid, would not be in this room volunteering with you and your love, the love that you want to do for whatever it is, the community, the church, giving, all the fruits of the Spirit, right? goodness, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness. They wouldn't be joining you in that effort of volunteerism. And yet you've put them in charge? We've got a problem, church. This is mental. This is mental. And I'm still waiting to see the layman, like myself, speak the words that I'm speaking. And for example, the examples are so numerous. I can't. The better thing to say is I can't find an example doing the other thing, what I'm doing. I can't find that example. Every example I look at, they are figuring out ways to make money via Christianity. Even the people exposing the people taking your money. Let me repeat that. Even the people and the groups, right, that are exposing the church's bad deeds, wasting of the money, foolishness behind the pulpit. Even them, they're completely sucked into the money. Meaning, back to the room, meaning they wouldn't be doing the thing that they're doing, which is exposing this garbage in our church. They wouldn't be doing even the exposing if not for making money. Mind blown. Do you see? We are in a sickness that cannot be measured. It cannot be measured. It's, by the way, what I just said, it is objectively true. The one person that wouldn't be there leading you, a bunch of volunteers, they wouldn't be in the room leading you. Not all, but most. If not for the money bag. This is Christianity. This should make your head explode. So I just go back to kind of so simply explain. If all 10 of us as volunteers just met up here in my living room or met over here in the fitness gym that I had for 21 years, rented out this space, and it was empty every Sunday, bar none. There may have been one Sunday where I did a boys' home sleepover. We had a good time, all-nighter. May have been one Sunday that I was there working. 21 years. My wife's bridal shop, 8 years now. Never, ever had anybody in it. Air-conditioned space on a Sunday morning. We could have had a group of believers, volunteer believers, meeting to talk about Jesus, to talk about his goodness. And yet most of us, not all, most of us would rather do it the other way. We would rather pay a guy to be consistently there, teaching us something. And then here comes the, we got to, there's a mortgage, and we got extra. We got the music minister, and he's got a mortgage now. Oh, and then the secretary, got to have a secretary. And then there's we got a little section over here, a new wing for the church and the children's ministry. So we got the children's ministry leader, they got a mortgage, and now we have the youth ministry, and then we got the college and career ministry, and then we have the singles minister. Each one of those needs a secretary. Oh, did I say too much? Anyway, we got a lot of people on staff, Mark. We got to pay these people. And so the idea of being a volunteer and donating, like what I'm doing right now, like what the Gideons did. Like, you say what you want about the Gideons. They put a Bible in every hotel room at no cost to anyone. It's yours to read. I don't know if they're still there anymore, but just saying. That's like a great example. And yet we're paying, and we're paying for this and paying for the men's conference that has the guy on the stripper pole going upside down with a sword in his mouth and licking the sword and having fire, looks with an upside down cross. And we're talking about this. This is on the burner of what we're going to discuss. When in fact, none of these people would have even been at the conference. Oh, let me put it this way. Would there have been a conference if you didn't have to pay? Because if you didn't have to pay, then someone would have had to rent out this arena who has the money to do that, right? Well, I mean, what do you mean we could have met at a park? What do you mean we could have borrowed DJ Mark's sound equipment? All we had to do was ask Mark? Hold on a second. Time out. You mean to tell me that we could have met at a state park out in the middle of a field, borrowed DJ Mark's sound equipment because he's a Christian, a devout believer. We could have used his microphone, and we could have done the men's conference out in the field. We could have had a prayer meeting out in the field. No, but what about the graphics, Mark? You got a video? What about whataboutism? What about a stage? I want to be up high so everybody can see me up on stage. And that means we have to have insurance for the gig. And we have to have people, that insure the scaffolding that will be up on the stage. And, we want to bring in a tank. I don't know if you know, but we've got this tank, and the tank is going to go over a car. It's going to crush the car, a real tank, not like we're talking about a real World War II tank. Yeah, one of our guys. I mean, how are we going to do that? We got to do it. We got to rent out the arena. And how are we going to sell our books? We got to have a bookstore. It's on sale though, Mark. Everything's a cost. Yeah. You got to buy coffee. You got to buy donuts. This is what Christianity has come to. And then instead of the elephant in the room, where we can, like what I just explained, right? Like, why are we even paying for a conference? Let's start with the first sin, and then we'll get to the whole stripper thing, right? We'll get to the guy who comes up and first chastises them for doing the male stripper thing in front of this men's conference. Okay, let's get to that in a minute. And let's get to everybody wants to put that on the burner first, when in fact we'll talk about that after we talk about this other big thing, the bigger thing in the room, that none of you would be here if not for this man getting paid. None of you would be here if not for everybody wanting to make $1 off of you in the audience. And yet you sit there and you keep funding these people, these organizations. You do you. But I'm just trying to help you realize that you're just in a whirlwind of nonsense and foolishness, on an epic level of foolishness. I'm not trying to get you to come to my conference because my conference is cheaper. No. If everybody wants to get to a conference, I've got East Ridge, the Jordan, Camp Jordan. I'm pretty sure we can go to Camp Jordan and get up there on the pavilion. Maybe there's a rental fee, and use some DJ equipment. Maybe even use a bullhorn, and it's all donated, man. And we can have a good, glorious get together. We don't have to pay a bunch of Christian artists to be there. We have to work with their agent. Oh, the agent wants more money for so-and-so. Could we get so-and-so? Oh, we can't get them either. Oh, because we were only willing to pay $100. Well, thanks for donating $100, Mark, or whoever. Thanks for donating $100. I know, but that's all we had. And this artist over here, he wants like 10,000 to come and play for us at our Christian concert, our Christian get together. It's just, I just want to know. I just want to say this enough times so your head can start. Is there anything in there? Is there anything? Can we get through that big thick skull to where you say, and this is the trick of this whole thing. instead of Mark just saying it here on this show. See, we're starting a little, I've got a little lighter and I'm trying to start a fire under you. I'm trying to light your match. Am I going to light your candle? Let's put it that way. Can we light your candle? Can I get you ready? Let's light your flint. Let's light your wick. Let's get your candle burning to where you get what I'm saying and go, you know what? I don't talk too well. I'm an old country redneck. I'm from the South, or maybe you could say I'm from the North. Maybe you could say I'm from the Midwest. Or maybe you could say I'm from the West Coast. But I see what Mark is saying. I'm going to go to my pastor, and this is what it's all about. We've got to do the snowball. It takes one person like me who's sitting there. This is what it is, folks. This is where I've written my songs. I'm sitting on the corner of an intersection, and I'm just watching the train wreck. And I'm reporting on what I'm seeing. This is this layman show right here. I'm reporting on what I'm seeing happening. I've not done anything. I'm just telling you. I'm a reporter. I'm just the average guy. Hey, Mark, what's that you see on the corner? Put a microphone right here. This is what this microphone is. Tell us what you see on the corner. Well, here's what I see. It seems like people are so blinded by this thing that's been happening since their parents have went to church and since their parents' parents have went to church. And we're just so used to it because it's generational now that it's normal to pay a guy who wouldn't be there next Sunday if he wasn't getting paid. That's normal, by the way. That's normal. Who wouldn't be here next Sunday if he wasn't getting paid? And that's the guy we're going to put in charge. This is mental, people. Why would you want to hear somebody just pick a classical guitar? No, Mark, I would rather spend money on Christian music. I would rather spend money and go buy an album, an artist that has taken the time to hire a bunch of musicians, and now they're going to charge me for the privilege to listen to that Christian music. In the Christian radio station that I complained about in show 0, that a Christian radio station, I'm going to call them up on the phone. Hey, my name's Mark Douglas, and I'd like to share with you my music. We're not going to play your songs on the radio. We only play songs from Nashville. We only play songs from people that have an agent. Christian music, Christian radio station. And then this was before I had the ideal about money and not like, why are we? So then there's commercials. Commercials on that beautiful Christian station. Commercials all day long. Top of the hour, bottom of the hour. Commercials at halfway through the hour. Commercials. And we're selling. What are we selling? What's the content? Christian content, Mark. Don't you know? We got to tell you about what the sponsor of this show. We got to tell you about the sponsor of this show. Now, again, if you didn't know any better, you would think I know nothing about entrepreneurship. If you didn't know any better. And I'm like the most, don't get me wrong, there are many entrepreneurs out there. I'm the most successful entrepreneur I know. Now, that doesn't say much. I don't know that many people. I'm the most successful entrepreneur I know. Telling you that, okay, when I say entrepreneurship, I mean, let's make some money. Let's make some money. But when it comes to Christianity, it stops. Enough. This is where we draw the line. This is where we say enough is enough is enough. We're not. This is holy. This is sacred. This is the line, the boundary at which we will not cross. And yet it's the norm. It's the norm. So I truly believe, I love talking about the money thing, because I truly believe that yes, everything you know about everything might completely change when we stop paying people for Christianity. But guess what that's going to do? All the people who are in it for the money are going to get away from us. Get away from us. But I have to light your candle first. I have to say, Do you get what I'm saying? Now go to your church and straighten it out. Go to your business meeting on a Wednesday night. Go to your people and say, I've got some light I would like to share with you. I have come to a realization that what you're doing on X, on what you're doing on Y, and you set it up and you just, you clean it out like you clean the gutters out. And I'm not saying we should get rid of the pastors. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is the current system. Not saying get rid of your pastor because he's making money. I am just saying it's true. It's the guy standing on the corner and noticing that it's true. Everybody here is a volunteer. Check that box. That is objectively true, except for one or two people. And those are the people that are in charge. Everything I just said is true. What do we do about that? I don't know. But I know it first. But the first thing we could do is say, let's put that on hold just for a second. That's fine. That's dandy. Let's put that on hold for a second. Let's get the stuff that we know is incorrect. Charging for Christianity, because what we have over here kind of looks like donations and tithe. Let's put that off to the side. Let's work on one thing at a time. Let's get capitalism out of this space. That's it. All capitalism out of this space. And everything is free. Everything is free. Everything is free. And then I'll change it up. Everything is donated. Everything is donated. Everything is donated. Have you ever been to a potluck dinner after church? It's a Southern thing, okay? Potluck dinners when everybody makes their best recipe once a month, maybe something, and maybe it's on a Wednesday night. Kids are running around having a good time, but the adults have all brought their favorite dish in a big old crock pot. And they set it up on this big, long smorgasbord table, and we have a potluck dinner. Did you have to pay for that? No. I mean, obviously, if you don't even have to do it at the church. You say, well, we got to have electricity for the church kitchen and all that. That's fine. Maybe that's part of the donations and tithe, right? Sure it is. Of course it is. I'm just saying there are so many examples. That potluck dinner is a fun example. There's so many examples, and it could just go on and on and on until the end of you know what, with people volunteering, not expecting anything in return. That's the beauty and the epiphany of love. The beauty and epiphany of what God continues to hammer in. Love your neighbor. Are you going to charge your neighbor? No, you would love your neighbor. Do you charge your neighbor for the advice? Do you charge your neighbor to help him with his lawn, to help him with his tree that fell down and hit his house? Do you charge your neighbor for whatever? You shouldn't, but I'm saying, right? And understandably, there's rental houses that's a little different. We love our neighbor. And so if it's a Christian neighbor, what are we going to do then? Maybe we invite them to our Christian church, which, by the way, is meeting every weekend in a place that we don't have to pay for. We don't need a microphone. We don't need a big DJ Mark setup. You know where I'm going with this, okay? Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Does my clicker still work? Yeah, it does. Okay. Clicker goes to sleep sometimes. So out of the rain, what does this song mean? Out of the rain. Are we going to get out of the rain? Are we going to wake up? Are we going to see what's going on? Because look at that bridge. What you couldn't know then is what you do know now. You're taking the time to listen. You hear the voice. You have an ear to listen. Can't wait to go over that verse on Friday. Do you have an ear to listen? Oh man, the parable I believe that Jesus gave, talking about having an ear to listen. I mean, he's basically saying, you have ears, right? And they're not just, to whatever, to hear yourself talk. You need to have an ear to listen to when someone else has something to say. Praise God. So I'm going to invite you tonight. Like think about tonight right there on the words, right? Let's look at that chorus. Hey, now won't you come out of the rain tonight? Let me, obviously that's first person God. Let me shelter you. That's God talking. I need to make that note there. Everybody needs to know. The chorus is God talking. It's cold and you're alone. Hey, what you fighting for? The love you want to find is right here. That's God's first person. And then here I am. It goes to Mark first person, right? And the first verse. The second verse, Mark first person. Pre-chorus. And I would say the bridge is back to God. But what you couldn't know then is what you do know now. You're taking the time to listen. You hear the voice, you have an ear to listen. Maybe that's back to God's voice, right? Hey, now won't you come? Let me shelter you. I love it. I love going back and forth, first person God, man, God, man, God, man. It's like God, you're having this wrestling match with God, and he's telling you, you're supposed to be doing this, and you go, well, I don't know if I want to do that. And he goes, no, you really need to be doing this, and it goes back and forth. Isn't that fun to have this? I don't understand you, God. I want to understand you, but I don't understand you. And God's going, I want to understand you, Mark, but I don't understand you. What do you mean you don't understand me? I'm the one who doesn't understand you. Let's go. Go back to the Bible and read it, you big dummy. Praise God. All right. Out of the Rain. It's going to be a beautiful song, and I will sing it this Sunday, the 15th song. I think I'm looking at the clock. Oh, man, I love talking about all this. I really think I got my point across tonight with the money. And so I'm just so glad to do that for you, to really light your candle and say, we need to start a tsunami. A little wave is where it starts, and then we're going to start an earthquake. It's all metaphorically, and then we're going to start a tsunami of saying, push back. No, let's change this. Okay, 5-song concert. Let's pull it back. It is time to pull it all the way back to Slow Down. Let's see what we got. Song number 13. There it is, coming up. Good, Slow Down. It is time for Slow Down. Let me grab my guitar. It's time for a 5-song concert. Thanks for hanging out there with me. All righty, I got my guitar. Are you ready to slow down and listen to what God has to tell you? Let's do this. Yep, I got my thing just right. Good. For someone who runs in every direction, you sure seem sure of yourself. Kinda like a cannonball, just a very arranged mess, and that's a fact. You kinda remind me of me, and the funny thing is that's how I used to be. If we could slow down, slow down, slow down. If we could slow down, slow down, slow down. Here's a toast from yours truly. You've done everything in the world, just about a half a mile turn right, and you have arrived. You kinda remind me of me before I felt my knees where I need to be. If we could slow down, slow down, slow down. If we could slow down, slow down, slow down. Walking in the wrong direction, you're not alone. The gate is wide for this deception. Follow along. Your neighbor's fault won't be protection from right and wrong. Slow down. There's a box blaring out there and a book in a corner. A thought for the family a long time ago. There's a moment you missed just a second ago. It was yours to have with you, and you're not giving nothing when the well is empty and you're not thirsty. The moment you're missing is there in the dead of silence. Put your hand to your chest and feel the beat. You have been made complete, and every breath to breathe for you, for me, is a gift to pray, a name to praise, a seed to preach. Slow down, slow down, slow down. If we could slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Praise God on that. It is time for the Lord's Prayer. Father, which art in heaven, Father, hallowed be thy name. Father, your kingdom come. Father, your will be done. I am on my knees, praises unto thee, and with humility I worship you, my King. Father, on earth and heaven, Father, give us our daily bread. Father, forgive our debts. And Father, oh Father, help me forgive. I am on my knees, glory unto thee, and with humility I worship you, my King. Father, Father, lead me not to temptation. And Father, Oh, Father, deliver me. I am on my knees. Power unto thee, and with humility I worship you, my King. Father, 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 hear my prayer. I am on my knees. Forever I will see your kingdom that will be, to worship you, my King. It's turned out to be a good Wednesday, huh? Anytime you can sing the Lord's Prayer like that, your perfect will. For so long I have been bound inside myself, closing the doors, hoping I'll find my way somehow. But could I be the one? Could I be the one you're calling, Lord? Deep inside your arms, when all I have is faith, will it be enough to carry me through to your perfect will? For so long I haven't found my freedom, Lord, holding the rails, praying that I won't fall. But Lord, could I be the one? Could I be the one you're calling, Lord? Deep inside your arms, when all I have is faith, will it be enough to carry me through to your perfect will? Your perfect will in my life, Lord. Are you calling my name? Your perfect will in my life, Lord. Is that you calling my name? For so long I have been waiting for someone other than me to take the lead while the work is done. I be the one? Could I be the one you're calling Lord? Deep inside your arms, when all I have is faith, will it be enough to carry me through to your perfect will? Could I be the one? Could I be the one you're calling Lord? Deep inside your arms, all I have is faith. Will it be enough? Will it be enough? Can I be the one? Can I be the one you're calling Lord? Deep inside your arms, with a little bit of faith, I pray that you will carry me through to your perfect will. Boo! All a man can be. What's this? All a man can be. One of my faves. All-time faves. I'm going to stick with the Christian bridge again. Make sure our clicker's working. Yeah, not too much time. Fell in love with you. Best thing that I ever did in you. So true. It wasn't hard to do. You say that you love me. Say that you love me too. And I wanna give my love to you. You know just what I need. Anytime, any place, it's free. You're no string giving, and you say I'm always on your mind. Oh, how you love me. With you it's not hard to believe that you'd give your life for me. Ooh, and there's just one thing that you should know. You are the one. You're the only one. I live my life for you. Ooh, you're so true. You are the one. You're the only one. I give my life to you. Ooh, and I love you. It's your love that amazes me. You make me all a man can be. I fell in love with you. It was the best thing that I ever did, and you, so true. It wasn't hard to do. You say that you love me, say that you love me too. And I wanna give my life to you. Oh, and there's just one thing that you should know. You are the one. You're the only one. I give my life to you. Ooh, you're so true. You are the one. You're the only one. I give my life to you. Ooh, and I love you. It's your love that amazes me. You make me all a man can be. When your eyes saw me, when in the secret place I was made wonderfully. So search me and know my heart till I can be all a man can be. Ooh, and there's just one thing that you gotta know. You are the one. You're the only one. I live my life for you. Ooh, you're so true. You are the one. You're the only one. I give my life to you. Ooh, and I love you. It's your love that amazes me. You make me all a man can be. Ooh, it's your love that amazes me. You make me all a man can be. All a man can be. Ooh, how many did I do tonight? Okay, good. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, did I just go over? No, we got one more. One more. And that is all to thee. Here we go. All to thee for our last song today on the hump day. Looking good. Raise my hands, lift my voice, all to thee, my Lord, all to thee. Giving praise to the King, having all authority. Your will be done on the earth as it is in heaven. Your will be done on the earth as it is in heaven. Raise my hands, lift my voice, all to thee. having all authority. Your will be done on the earth as it is in heaven. Your will be done on the earth as it is in heaven. Your will be done on the earth as it is in heaven. Woo! 5-song concert. Thanks for hanging out. Let's finish this off. Wednesday. Want to learn more about this show? Check out my website, MWDHQ.com. From there, download free demos of each song of the week and email me from the Connect page. That's right. Email. Come on, hit me up. Talk to me. Please subscribe to this channel and get notifications for when I go live. Join me as I prep you for church and explore the significant meanings of salvation and discipleship. Become a Christian. Begin to walk the talk. Strengthen your walk with God. Get inspired by what I'm saying. Pass it on as you begin to challenge your friends and family with the words that you're saying and the actions that you're acting. Ooh, I like that. Become a better husband, wife, son, daughter, mother, father, granddad, grandmother, neighbor, friend, leader, and follower. I got 2 questions for you tonight. What is the thing that God has called you to do regarding your life's purpose? And that's for your life's total purpose. Hey, what are you called to do? Are you a songwriter like me? And what about this very day? Because that's a little different than songwriting. Maybe today God called me to do something. Number 2, have you passed it forward by challenging and encouraging someone today? On Monday's show, I offered statements you could share with someone. Today, I offer questions to ask yourself. Which of the following questions are relevant to helping you move forward? Questions for myself. Okay. Hit me up, Mark. Do I truly believe in myself? Do I truly want to better my life? There's a better angle, sorry. Do I pray for myself? Was I the one that was wrong? Am I truly sorry? And would I make amends with joy and humility? Have I forgiven myself for that thing that happened? Am I truly thankful to God for what He has done for me? Is there someone I need to show love to? Why do I question God's love for me? Why have I not acted on God's plan for me? God's plan, not your plan, right? What purpose does God have for me today and tomorrow? Because it's a little late today. What purpose could God give me? He's got something for me to do? Oh, yeah. Why don't you join me? Have I lit that candle? Have I started to light that little candle of yours? So you could start asking questions. Let's do that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining my church prep family. I'll see you live Friday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Song of the Week's Bible Connections. The Bible Connections to, what is that? Out of the Rain. See you then. To God be the glory.